All right, I must admit something. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna gatekeep this one. This strategy will honestly make you, me, and anybody else who decides to use it buku money. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this video, baby. So I am going to show you all a 5-minute strategy that you can use on the Nasdaq, NAS100, NQ, whatever you trade in, whether it's Forex, indices, or futures. It's going to be for the Nasdaq NAS100 and the Dow Jones US30. Me personally, I still trade indices versus futures, but you can still use this strategy in futures as well. Nothing changes but the weather, and it's so simple. Now, as always, I tell you guys, please never ever listen to some random guy on the internet. Please go back and back test this for yourself so that you can see that this strategy actually works. Now, today was absolutely choppy, but what I want you to do essentially is head up to indicators, and I want you to turn on Kill Zones by Oscar VS. This strategy is similar to the last one I posted, but now we've refined it to a smaller time frame where you can maximize profits even more. So what I want you to do is turn on Kill Zones, all right? And in Kill Zones, on your settings, I want you to uncheck all of these boxes and leave, actually, you don't even need this one. Just leave the top 2 boxes checked. That will be your New York session. The background color doesn't matter. Now today, both today and Friday was choppy in the markets. Today I was up a good amount, but then it instantly reversed on me. A whole lot of up and down. And like I always tell you guys, I'm still at work. And it's really hard for me to catch trades at work, but I try my best, and hopefully, one day I'll be able to show you guys these strategies live trading sessions, all that good stuff. But what you're gonna do is turn on Kill Zones by Oscar VS, and then just make sure you have those 2 top boxes checked off so you can see that this is the New York session. Now, there are very simple rules to this strategy. Literally the simplest of simple rules ever. Hopping into this strategy, rule number 1, please follow this strategy to the T. Do not change anything about it at all whatsoever. So rule number 1, you are only going to trade this strategy at New York Open. For me, that is 8:30 Central Standard Time, and you're really only supposed to look for opportunities all the way up to 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time for me. That's when the most volatility is gonna kick in, but there will also be support and resistance, other breakouts that come afterwards. They just won't move as volatile. Now, rule number 2, you are just gonna mark the pre-market high and low. For me, the pre-market opens up at 7:30 Central Standard Time. So from 7:30 to pretty much 8:25, you want to mark that high and that low. So let's hop into the charts right here, for example. And this was my 8:30 high, right? 8:30 high. And then I am going to mark the low prior to 8:30, which is going to be right here. Me personally, I would have marked it right here just because this long wick, like, what is that? But even if you're the type of guy or gal that will mark up down here, this still could have been a banger. Now, for rule number 3, you are going to see which way the market is trending. Let me write that down. For rule number 3, you're going to draw your trend line. You want to know when a breakout is happening. For me, for instance, on this one, I would have did something like this. Or what I personally like to do, I don't like to bring in London session. Me personally, I like to just mark up whatever I'm seeing from pre-market to 8:30. And on this day in particular, you probably want to have much of a trend line. Maybe you could have, did something like this before, this huge 840 candle popped up, and you just had something like that, or you did something like that. Either way, you still would have capitalized on this trade. And then you simply, rule number 4 is simply trade the breakout, whether that is a breakout to the upside. Let's make this big and red. Pause, no diddy. Make it bigger. Pause. So you're either gonna trade to the upside, or you're gonna trade the break of the trend line, right? Regardless of which way is facing, whether it's, you know, you got it in a downtrend or you have it in an uptrend, you're gonna trade either break of resistance, which is at the top. You're gonna trade the break of the trend line, or you're gonna trade the break of support. Now, let's just say we go into replay mode and back all the way up into this candle, and you had no idea that you were about to get hit with the okie doke. Hold on, let me make sure I put the arrow right here. So you had no idea you were about to get hit with the okie doke, and it's okay because it happens. With this strategy, you are going to lose, but the goal is to lose minimum. So let's just say, for instance, you've seen this break of this candle and you don't wait for the close. Sometimes, like at the very open of the market, I usually do not wait for the close, because in most cases, whichever way the market starts to push, especially after seeing, I'm guessing it did a huge rejection and then made its way back up, I would have got in as soon as price started to break. Stop loss right here, and then you aim for a 1 to 5 risk to reward. Now, you're not gonna always get that 1 to 5 risk to reward, so you're gonna have to manage the trades accordingly, such as trailing your stop loss, putting your stop loss at break even. Once it hits, let's just say 1 to 2, you move your stop loss to break even. Once it hits, let's just say 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, you move your stop loss up to that 1 to 2 mark, and hopefully you get that final push to the 1 to 5. But you are always going to go for the 1 to 5 push. And in this case, in this particular case, guess what? You got cooked. All right. So, but when you got cooked, guys, please do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. Now, this candle is absolutely humongous. So, it's kind of weird how I would have traded this. Essentially, technically, your stop loss is supposed to be, once you've seen this break of this trend line, your stop loss is technically supposed to be above the candle. But in this case, the candle is absolutely huge, and I absolutely hate when we get candles like that. But I mean, you can still capitalize. But with this kind of volume right here, I mean, maybe put your stop loss at like 50% of the candle and hope for the best, and then just drag that thing down and see if you can milk that 1 to 5 risk to reward. And let's just see how this plays out. Boom, you absolutely destroyed the market. And if you would have did something like trailed your stop loss and didn't take your profits at the 5 to 1, you could have capitalized potentially on a 10 to 1 trade before exiting this position. Now let's go ahead and go to the next day so I can show you one more example on a different day. I don't know what happened there, but we went a little too far. And guys, what's crazy, what's absolutely insane, is if you really held this trade, I mean if you really held this trade. But that's neither here nor there, everybody. There's a whole lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas in this market. We are aiming for a 1 to 5 risk to reward, trailing stop loss to try to gain a little bit more. If you want to hold and do some sort of a swing, be my guest. All right, so we have New York open. Now we are going to go up until the 8:30 candle, which is right now. Let's just do something like that. 8:05. Went too far. All right. Well, you kind of already got a sneak peek, but so we are going to simply mark off the high of our pre-market, and then we are going to mark off, this is the 8:30 candle. So that means that this is the current low of the pre-market, right? And then we are simply going to trade the breakout. In this case, I would have put my trend line something like this. So if the market would have broke into the upside, I would have took the buys. If we would have broke resistance at the top, we would have took the buys. And if we break the support at the bottom, we take the sells, the shorts. So let's see what our next candle is. Okay, that is an absolutely strange candle. And then let's see what the next candle gives us. All right, so as this candle is forming, another thing to be very cautious of is like right at 8:30 to that 8:35 to 8:40 mark, a lot of wicked craziness could happen. So like I said, if you lose the trade, if let's just say you got in on whatever this was right here, this is an absolute mess. You got in as the trade was breaking below, you put your stops maybe above this candle right here, you got absolutely demolished. So that's fine. The very next 5-minute candle gave you another break. Don't be discouraged. So you got in right here, stop loss right here. And like always, we are pushing for that 1 to 5 risk to reward. And let's just see what happens. Boom. Now this was a scary trade. That's crazy. This was guys, this was a scary trade. I'm not gonna lie, but you have to hold strong. You have to pay attention to what price action is giving you and the momentum that the market is giving you. So if you see that this candle pushed up and then rejected, and then you see like this candle is pushing up but then it rejects, you got to be cautious. If it hits your stop loss, oh well, let's just say this trade did hit your stop. Boom, okay, you're out 2 trades. Guess what? The very next candle gave you another entry, and now you are using proper risk to reward, of course. So let's just say, I know for me, for instance, I only risk 3% a day. So we already, let's just say hypothetically, got smoked twice. I'm only down 2%, and then boom, I get in right here. I go for my 1 to 5 risk to reward, and literally after getting smoked twice, we got that in 5, 10, 15 minutes total. Not only did we make our 2% back, but we could end the day with a 3% gain. That is how easy and simple this strategy is. But like I said, don't trust a random guy on the internet, okay? Just leave a like and subscribe for the next one. But don't just trust a random guy on the internet. Please, 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 please do me a favor. Go as far back on Nasdaq as you like, or on US30 as you like, and back test this strategy. And I guarantee you, you will come back you will come back to this video and be like, wow, thank you, chef. I'm so glad I watched this video. No, I'm kidding. But it is a really, really amazing strategy that I've been using. I really do wish that I could sit and live trade with you all so we can catch these moves together. Today was an absolutely wicked day in the markets. I literally went from like 0 to, let's just say 0 to a lot in like seconds using this strategy. So this is a truly an ultimate scalping strategy. And if you risk, like for me, I risk 1 to 2% on the trade, but let's just say you're a lot more riskier. You know what I'm saying? This was a 1 to 5 risk to reward. Let's just say you risk 3% on that trade and you would have gained 15%. 15% on a 100K account. You just made what, $15,000, I believe, in literally 15 minutes. So like I said, let's just recap on the rules because I know I'm yapping. Rule number 1, say it with me. I want you to type this in the comments. Rule number 1, we only trade this strategy at New York Open. All right, that is why we have kill zone on. Yo, try saying that like 5 times fast. So when the market turns blue, when you get this thick blue line or whatever color you choose, you know that is New York session, and you're really only looking for opportunities at the open of the market all the way to 9:30, or like for me, like an hour later, depending on where you are. It doesn't matter, an hour after market open. But like I said, you will sometimes get opportunities past that, and if you do want to take those, be my guest. The risk is on you. Rule number 2, you're gonna mark the pre-market high and low. So for me, for instance, from 7:30 till 8:30 or 8:25, essentially, I am going to mark that simple line at the top, at the bottom, and then I'm going to find which way the market is currently trending. There's going to be times where price breaks out to the top and it literally just skyrockets. Go back test it. I promise you. There's going to be times where price drops instantly and just drops down. You can't be afraid to get in these trades. Take the trade, tight stop loss, usually the candle above, however you want to do it. Risk management is all up to you, or to break it at trend line. Now, like I said, in this case where it's a huge candle like this, your stop loss completely depends on you. I, for one, wouldn't try to put my stop loss all the way up here, because then we won't get that 1 to 5 risk to reward. And the reason why we need the 1 to 5 risk to reward is because we will take a lot of L's using this strategy, but the L's will be minimum compared to the W's. So that's rule number 2. Rule number 3, of course, draw the trend line. I think I said that, but I don't know. I kind of said it without saying it. Rule number 3, draw the trend line. And then rule number 4, I didn't write this down, but trade the breakout. Don't be afraid. Literally today, I got smoked back to back. Back to back, I got smoked because the market broke above. Then I was up like $1 zillion, and then it instantly just like reversed on me. And then I thought it was gonna go up again, finessed me one more time, dropped on me, and unfortunately I had to get back to work, so I wasn't able to catch the move to the downside. But one day, guys, one day I will be able to live trade with you all. One day we're gonna be able to, you know, start this Discord community, and you know, I don't know, we're gonna do it. One day it's gonna happen where, you know, I won't have to work anymore, and we can honestly build a community and grow together. But until then, hopefully I keep providing you value. It's been your boy Slim, aka the Chef, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.